I do not generally like the take because it feels like a very, I made it to the top of the cliff, but oh my god, you down here, it's gonna be so difficult for you to push this boulder off the top of the cliff, but I made it to the top of the cliff. That's what this take always feels like to me. It's always sort of like a, somebody who's done it telling others to not do it kind of a thing. Where I disagree because I would rather, people go through the struggle of going up the cliff themselves, right? Um, and that doesn't mean I'm advocating for stuff like crunch or layoffs or anything, but like I for me specifically, like I run into people every single day that tell me that ask me why I'm in games or why don't I just like go and get like I have a computer science degree. I could pretty much do any all the things that are like part of like software or web dev or whatever, right? I could run like a Bitcoin scam and make millions and just have all the money. But like why games? Why video games specifically, right? And there's people even that are like really frustrated in my life that like I don't switch industry. Like why am I adamant since I was 11 to be in the video game industry? And the biggest reason is the fact that like I can't imagine myself doing anything else, right? I just can't imagine myself. I can't imagine anything that's like touched my life more than freaking video games. I'm literally trying to draw the Celeste screen here because I started this with a mountain analogy. And like I think that might be true for a lot of people, if it's like the one industry, I think this rings true, whether it be like whether it be video games, I think that's the Discord logo. I was trying to draw like a controller, but I think I just drew the Discord logo. But like whether it be video games or it be movies or it be, writing a book, uh or art, just art, just drawing, whether it be all of that, I think I feel like this is essentially, the entertainment industry. I would call it the entertainment industry. And we as humans have always kind of like valued the entertainment industry pretty poorly. Like if we say the value of this, right, we say no. We say the value of this is bad. Whereas anything else that's like, that's like banking or anything that involves money, and like stable money, we kind of say like, what, value up, right? But what isn't what isn't observed about this, the entertainment industry usually, is that like the passion there is always immense. So anyone who sort of wants to do something professionally for entertainment or for exploring themselves, exploring ideas, exploring art, exploring nature, documenting, writing, or the newest form, which is interactive media or video games, right? That requires a lot of passion, and that usually requires a lot of people that are like really ready to give it their all to put something into their work. And that's usually not something you see in a place that's just like, okay, we gotta make the product, we gotta ship the product, we gotta money, 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 right? That's not usually seen in those industries, not as often. Um, and the point is that like this will always be valued less, this will always be seen as less. But then there will always be a video game, there will always be a movie, there will always be a painting, and there will always be a book that makes someone cry, right? That makes someone cry, that someone thinks is the best book ever, or that completely lights up someone's world, completely changes someone's life. There will always be a piece of media that does that to someone, and a website or a bank or a freaking cushy job or whatever is seldom ever doing that. I don't think it's ever doing that, to be very honest. So I would rather be in the industry that touches people at an emotional level than simply, in an industry that wants to just kind of grab the money out of their wallet, and that's kind of it. And they don't, we're not really trying to provide that kind of a value. We're just trying to, extract as much value out of it. And I know video games and movies and books and everything are have been kind of going in the direction of let's do the smallest amount of effort to make the most, extract the most value possible. But even then, you still run into people in these industries that are much more passionate about that are much more passionate about touching your heart than they are about what's in your wallet. And I think that's why, if you're wanting to be in entertainment, that should be your goal, rather than money and all this and all that. Obviously, you need to eat, you need to pay your bills, you need to do all that. But just saying, I think it's worth it if you really want to sort of make sure that you create something that truly has value for you and for humanity as a whole. I think it's totally worth it. It's totally worth it to try for these things and try to get on top of that mountain that we talked about. So I'm not going to stand at the top of the mountain and tell you at the bottom of the mountain to not try and climb it. I would say if you really think that you can provide, that you can create something amazing that you think is amazing, that everyone thinks is amazing, and you really want to do it, I would say try to climb that mountain. It's okay if you fall back down too, but at least try.